Hi, I'm Neil with SKF. Today we're going to be changing the center support bearing on this 04 Chevy Silverado two-wheel drive. This particular support bearing has worn out. Typically, signs are when you're driving down the road, you can feel a shudder, a vibration through the floorboard or through the steering wheel. Sometimes the bearing will make a howling noise while you're driving. It gets worse when you accelerate. Before you get started on your repair, of course, you have to pick up a replacement part. There's a lot of different choices out in the marketplace depending on the type of suspension you have on your vehicle. You might have a short bed, a long bed, extended cab, crew cab, manual trans, automatic trans, and the different engines all put you into different choices. We do have a tech tip online at www.skfpartsinfo.com that might help you out. You can print the sheet out. What I like to do before I get started is actually take a picture of the center support underneath the truck, take it with you, or print out the sheet, take it to the parts store to make sure you make the right choice when you're going to do the replacement. Before we get started with the replacement, a couple of things to take a look at. Since you're going to be removing the complete drive shaft, it's a good time to inspect the U-joints. Once you have it out, it's a good time to change them if they're in poor shape. I'm also going to lubricate the top bolts on the center support and on the back U-joint clamps. That'll make removal a little bit easier. The third thing that you want to do is mark the drive shaft in a couple different places to make sure the replacement is in the exact order so you don't have any balance issues. Remove the four little 7/16 bolts, and I've loosened up the center support, but I haven't dropped it completely all the way down. I left it hanging a little bit. What I'm going to do is remove these, get a little assistance, and then we'll remove this whole drive shaft assembly. I'm going to pop this off, and then we're going to remove the whole drive shaft assembly. Before we take the drive shaft center support over to the press to remove this, you'll notice there's a little cap that keeps these two halves of the drive shaft together. Sometimes there's a little bit of spline on them, some are just a little press fit. This one's press fit. I put a little rust penetrant on it. I use the vice grips to try to get it moving, and then I just kind of take a little punch and chisel. Once you get that moving, it'll come off fairly easy. And then you have the two pieces and they'll pull apart for the drive shaft. We have the drive shaft set up in the press. We got the bearing press retainer to help remove it, and we're just going to press it down until it releases. It's best to use a press if possible. I've seen some people cut them off, but that can damage the drive shaft. Once we have the drive shaft bearing off the drive shaft, then we want to clean up where it sits. Use a little emery cloth, deburr it, and it'll make the installation a little bit easier. Okay, we got the new one positioned back in place. You can either kind of press it in the reverse order, which is a little bit difficult on the types of press we have. We'd have to have a pipe similar to this kind of on the bottom portion. Because they do push back on a little bit easier, we just used a pipe fitting, and you want to make sure you press or push in on the inner race of that bearing. You just simply put that in place, pound it back until it seats. Make sure it spins freely. You're ready to reassemble. If you notice on this slip yoke, it has a little different wider spline. That makes it easier in case you didn't mark the drive shaft to put it right in place. It only goes in one direction. So we're going to get this, slide it back on, get this little cover back on, and then as long as we're here, we're going to lube up this joint and make sure that the slip joint's in good condition. Got the center support bolts started in place. I'm just going to tighten up these U-joint bolts, torque them down, and then we'll finish tightening up that center support, and then we'll be ready to go. We finished getting the center support bearing back in place, ready for a test drive. So thanks for watching today on the video. And for more information, join us at www.skfpartsinfo.com, or for more interaction, Twitter @skfpartsinfo.